Support for Starting Small comes from Human Scale, the leading designer and manufacturer of high-performance ergonomic products that help create a healthier work life. All of the products from chairs to standing desk and more are comfortable, easy to use, and sustainable, and great for either the office or the work-from-home environment. With an increase in shifting workplaces, comfort can be especially hard to find. As I run the podcast, I'm in front of my desk for hours a day, from scheduling, researching, interviewing, and more. Human Scale allows me to remain productive without the consequence of body stress to follow. Make sure to check out Human Scale at humanscale.com and use code StartingSmall at checkout to save 20% off your purchase. That's code StartingSmall at humanscale.com, and enjoy the episode. Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Starting Small, a podcast about brand development, entrepreneurship, and innovation in the modern world. In this episode, I'm joined by Sabin Lomac, co-founder of Cousins Maine Lobster, bringing authentic Maine lobster nationwide through food trucks and brick-and-mortar restaurants. After realizing that the LA scene was oversaturated with cheap and inauthentic foods, Sabin and his cousin Jimmy pooled together their savings and opened their first food truck in 2012. Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Starting Small. Today, I'm joined by Sabin Lomac of Cousins Maine Lobster. Sabin, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
For sure. So I'd like to start out with your upbringing. So where did you grow up, and what was your childhood like?
Grew up in a small little town of Scarborough, Maine, in a little nook called Pine Point. I'm actually here right now with my family. And I grew up with just my mother, no brothers, no sisters. I didn't really know my father too well, so really close-knit with my mom. Small family here in Maine, and that's kind of how it all started.
Growing up, would you say that you had an entrepreneurial mindset, say lemonade stands or selling products?
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, growing up, would you say that you had an entrepreneurial mindset, say like lemonade stands or selling products?
You know what? I had so many jobs when I was a kid. I had probably like 50 jobs locally, including at one point selling sodas on the beach. So, I mean, I was doing everything that I could to make money. I mean, we didn't have a lot of money growing up. We were pretty broke. So I remember all the kids having, the team shoes, basketball shoes, and I couldn't afford them. I remember coaches helping me buy cleats, for soccer, stuff like that. So to me, I didn't like that. I wanted to have nice things. And remember my grandfather, who was a Marine for about 30 years, he told me, who also was from Portland, Maine, grew up very poor as well. And he said, if you want something in life, you got to go get it and, be a man and go do what you need to do. So, I started working at a very young age.
Wow.
And, so I think, I guess, is that entrepreneurial? Yeah, I think entrepreneurs want to survive. Entrepreneurs want to thrive. And I think I started at a young age.
Amazing. I saw that you went on to study at athofstra University in 2000. What did you study there?
I studied speech communications and rhetorical studies and drama. I really wanted to be an actor. That was really it. I mean, I didn't truly know. I was like a lot of kids when I went to college. I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I did this, and it was kind of something. But
Sure.
I wasn't one of those guys that knew exactly what I wanted to do.
With your time there, were you in any athletics or clubs?
I played sports all throughout high school. I had some scholarships to play like Division II sports in college. I think I could have played at Hofstra soccer. I just truly wanted to stop. I was tired of. I wasn't good enough to play basketball, although I would have loved to in college. But no, I played some intramural stuff really. But I worked. I worked full time throughout college, so I could afford it. I got grants and scholarships, and I went to school. So and I partied a lot. I made sure I had a lot of fun too.
Awesome. So following college and prior to Cousins Maine Lobster, what kind of jobs were you working? You wanted to be an actor. Did you do anything with dramas or no?
Yeah, I did tons of little stuff acting wise, tons of commercials and plays and off Broadway plays and performances and I did as much as I could. I also got my real estate license to make sure that I still had some sort of fallback plan, So I sold real estate. I actually became very successful at it. It was really, really fun, and I was good at it. So those are kind of what I did. I said, you know what, I'm going to sell real estate, and I'm going to do some acting on the side. That was my career.
Awesome. With real estate, did you stay in Maine for the most part, or where did you venture?
No, I was in Los
Los Angeles.
Angeles. I was in Los Angeles.
Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So in 2000.
Well, I went to school in New York, and then I was living in Los Angeles, and I I got my real estate license out there, and I'm just started really doing well.
Amazing. So Cousins Maine Lobster comes around 2011. What was the initial inspiration that struck interest for both you and Jimmy to start this and move into the food industry?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I said 2011. Cousins Maine Lobster comes. What was the initial inspiration that struck interest for you and Jimmy to create Cousins Maine Lobster and move into the food industry?
Yeah. You know what? Jim came and visited me in Los Angeles. He was visiting a girlfriend. He came, we had dinner, we had fun, and we just reminisced and realized how much we, A, missed each other, and B, how important family was to us. And we realized we'd love to do something creative together. And I think that the idea of Cousins Maine Lobster was really just to be creative, and challenge ourselves to do something. We didn't really have any grand vision of it being too successful or making tons of money, or certainly to get where it is now. We just really wanted to do something that was fun.
Mm,
That was really as simple as it is. So, we did it. We worked on it for about a year. We said, we made some decisions. Reason we chose a black truck is because we thought, sports teams that have black jerseys look really sleek and
mhm.
kind of almost tough. I mean, we made a lot of decisions like that based on kind of our gut, not like years of business school and case
Mm,
studies. We just kind of flew by the seat of our pants. We just did whatever we thought would work.
mm.
The one thing that we really strived on was the quality of product. Being from Maine, how good lobster is here, and we
Mhm.
wanted to make sure we had the best lobster in the world. So we made sure we had the absolute best lobster. We figured that if we did that and we provided like really good service, that kind like down east hospitality, which is really important,
Yeah,
that we might succeed. And we hope to sell maybe 30 or 40 rolls a day. That was the
yeah.
goal. And as it turns out, we sold a lot more than that.
Amazing. So when you purchased that first food truck, where did you plant it for ideal traffic?
Well, we planted it throughout the whole city of Los Angeles. We just moved around every day, lunch and dinner, to a different location. And for the most part, we were very successful. Every once in a while, we hit a clunker and it wasn't so busy, but for
Mm,
the most part, we were very successful. Didn't matter the demographic, the neighborhood, the income levels, and I think we all thought, oh, we got to go to Beverly Hills. That's where all the money
yeah,
is. But we went anywhere, and everyone supported us, and really we found that it was an affordable luxury. It was a treat, and it was something that people had never had before.
amazing. What did the menu offer to start? Was it a wide variety or was it just a few menu options?
Yeah, no, it was just a couple menu items, same as pretty much what we have now. I mean, a couple lobster rolls, some soups, a couple side items. We've since added a few things like a lobster grilled cheese, but we've kept it pretty small
Mm,
and simple. Pretty much the same as when we started, and I like it that
mhm.
way. We both are the type of guys that we like going places with a smaller menu, not a big
Yeah,
menu. We like going places. If you're the best at a burger, then you probably shouldn't have 50 things on the menu. You should have just a couple of good burgers.
for
So
sure.
we wanted people to know when they came for a lobster roll that they were going to be treated with the best lobster roll. That's it.
100%. So I'm curious with a food truck and one food truck, what were your main forms of marketing? Was it mainly traffic and word of mouth or word of mouth? What did that look like?
At the beginning, social media,
Yeah.
you know, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, our website, PR. We got a lot of initial PR buzz. We went on the news. We created a pretty good marketing frenzy behind us. And of course, really 3 months after opening, we went on Shark
Wow.
Tank. So after that, we found people that were obviously seeking us out and searching to find us everywhere.
Wow. And you mentioned that the demographic really didn't matter, but after marketing and after selling, did you notice any main demographic in sales or was it wide?
No, no, it was a wide net of people. It's just it was everyone,
Yeah.
and old, young, it didn't matter. So No, we didn't. I'm sure if you did some really macro, analytics, you would probably find that there is certainly a certain group of, whether it's young adults or, I don't know, but really,
Mhm.
everyone loves it. And, no. So to answer your question, no.
So you mentioned before you could even launch that next truck, you appeared on Shark Tank. That's phenomenal. And I'm wondering, what was the internal feeling for you and your co-founder at that time to appear at such a young start?
What was the feeling
Yeah,
like?
internally.
I mean, we were really nervous.
Hmm.
We were well prepared. We watched about 50 episodes of the show. So we felt like we were pretty
Hmm.
prepared. But we were nervous. I think the biggest thing is we just didn't want, we didn't want them to talk negatively about us. We didn't want them to, say, oh, the food wasn't good, something like that.
Yeah.
So I think that was like our biggest concern. We were worried that maybe the food might be cold by the time they eat it,
Mm.
something along those lines. So that was really, I think, the worry. But thankfully it went really, really well,
For
and
sure.
they loved it.
So I've had some guests on previously who have appeared on Shark Tank, and something they mention is, especially D2C brands, e-commerce, they can notice a spike in sales. I was
Yeah.
wondering, after your airing, did you notice any spike in traffic or sales or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, we had a massive spike in everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we already had really, really long lines, and these lines were even longer. So yes, whether it was our website, I mean, I think our website crashed that night. We
Wow.
had paid tons of money to have it not crash, but it crashed nonetheless. So yeah, we saw it was crazy. It was
Mm.
crazy. The lines at our food truck just got even longer.
Wow. So when I keep up with Cousins Maine Lobster today and Barbara, you landed that deal. I really respect how she is really a big part of your business. I was wondering what kind of impact did your airing and partnership with Barbara mean for the future and growth of Cousins Maine Lobster?
Um, well, it was incredibly impactful because Barbara, she's very wise, and she's wise. She's like me. She's street smart. She isn't always the most eloquent when she phrases something. She kind of gives it to you a little more direct and blue collar, and
Hmm.
that really fits well with me in particular, and I think Jimmy as well. So her impact on us has been huge because she just, for lack of a better word, she keeps it real.
Hmm.
She just says it quick, blunt, and that's it. A lot of the things that she also says are things that we were doing or thought to do.
Mm.
So she just kind of reinforced what we already thought, and sometimes that's all you
Yeah.
need. So if I was to tell you that I was going to start a food truck with lobster and serve Maine lobster out of it, does it sound like that great of an idea? Does it really sound that sexy or alluring or mind blowing? And the
Mm.
answer is really no.
Yeah.
If anything, it doesn't sound very good at all. Lobster food truck, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So these are the reasons and the ways that people get talked out of their ideas. These are the reasons that people always go, I was going to do something. I should have done something.
Mm.
And they don't ever do anything. So when we had these ideas, we oftentimes question them because, who are we? We're just, we're not that smart. And Barbara would just reinforce them.
Mm.
So her partnership has been, incredible. She's an incredible friend and a mentor, and instrumental in our growth. That's for sure.
That's amazing. Looking at Cousins Maine Lobster today, you have expanded to bring on some amazing franchisees. I'm curious, what do you look for when opening up to a new franchisee?
What do we look
Yeah,
for?
in a franchisee, for example.
I look for, first of all, when they get on the phone with us, that we've already done a lot of vetting by the time that they even talk to Jim and I.
Mhm.
But we look for them to know the answers to questions that we ask, common questions. We look for them to be prepared. We look for them to be excited, humble, kind. We don't like the big money people, the people that just talk about
Mhm.
money, or I'll figure that out kind of guys. We don't like
Yeah.
that. So we like people that call and that come and they actually have a plan together, and they're prepared.
Mm.
So if they're prepared for those calls and those moments, and we believe in their market, then that's what we look for. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned business person or if you have never run a business in your life. We don't care, as long as you have humility and you're prepared.
Amazing. Do franchisees bring any inspiration towards menu additions?
They can, for sure. If they have something that we like, that we try and we love it, then yeah, for sure. I don't think it's happened yet with a franchisee. One of our employees, our first employees, helped us with a bunch of the menu items and stuff, but I can't recall, any franchisee making something that is stuck.
Yeah,
But that's not to say that we also have a really small menu and we kind of keep it that
for
way.
sure.
But no, I mean, it's not to say that it wouldn't,
100%.
but yes, to answer your question, their feedback is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even go to like it doesn't even have to be a menu item. They could just say, hey, listen, we really, we think that we could put a bigger TV on the truck. The guy in San Francisco doing that. He's putting a TV on the back of the truck, I think. Or we think that a logo would look here, and we think we should do this, and we think we should do that.
Yeah.
It's just these little, like, it's just really, really, it's really, really interesting what they can come up with themselves. Yes to menu items more commonly, or just other things to make the business better.
Got it. So, what would you say separates Cousins Maine Lobster from your competitors? Maybe other food trucks, other lobster places, etc.
Well, I can't comment on their food quality because I haven't had it.
Of course.
But I think right off the bat that our food is the best in the world.
Yeah.
I think that we offer the most premium product in the world, and I don't think that I don't think that fact alone is pretty much what we stand on. Number one. So I don't think you're going to get a better lobster roll anywhere else in the world, and I'm really confident about that.
Yeah.
That's something that we take a lot of pride in. That's something that we've never deviated from, and it's something that we say with a lot of passion. So right off the bat, we're a food business.
Yeah.
If we're selling burgers, it would need to be the best burger. If we're selling lobster, it's a very celebratory, expensive, special menu item. So it needs to be the best. So right off the bat, I think that our product is the best food in the world. Number one. Number two, we are from Maine. So we are not a gimmick. We are not something that was thought up on a business plan and, kind of duplicated. We grew up in this area. And I think that as as true family members, so as a family business, coming from where we come from, which is very blue collar, which is very hardworking, I think that separates us from a lot of other people. And number three, what else separates us? I mean, I don't know. I just think we're special.
Yeah.
And I don't really worry too much about other people. I just do what we do.
For sure.
I think we distinguish ourselves pretty well.
Amazing. What would you say is your top seller today? If you have any idea, is the lobster roll or what?
Yep. It's the Connecticut lobster roll, which is the warm Maine lobster with a little butter on it. That's definitely the top one. It sells 2-to-1 with the other lobster roll. However, in Maine, the traditional way of having this is with chilled lobster with a little bit of mayonnaise.
Well, I would like to conclude each episode with this. If you could share one piece of advice with an aspiring entrepreneur, maybe something you've learned or regret, what would that be?
I say this a lot, and I'll say it again. I kind of alluded to it earlier. If you're listening and you're an aspiring entrepreneur, it's really simple. Believe in what you do. Believe in yourself. And if you are willing to do the hard work, if you really are willing to give it your all, if you really, really will bet on yourself, then you should do what you want to do. And if you're willing to be the best, you have to be the best. Don't try and be second best. Don't try and be average. We didn't do this business to be average. We did this to be the best. So if you are willing to do that in whatever field you are and do the work, then you should do it and don't listen to what anyone else says. So when we started this business, I didn't mention this, we worked on this idea for a year and we didn't tell anybody. So Jimmy and I, for 14 months actually, worked on this. Didn't tell my mom, didn't tell my best friend. I didn't tell anyone. And do you know why I did that?
Doubt.
I didn't want anyone to give me any bad energy and tell me my idea wasn't good.
Yeah.
I didn't want anyone to be like, you don't, oh, really? But you don't know anything about food.
Yeah.
Ugh. I didn't want negativity.
Yeah.
So I did it anyway because I bet on myself always, and I bet on my cousin Jim.
For sure.
So what I'm telling people, if you're listening and you believe and you sound like me, then do whatever the hell you want to do and don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to people that tell you need a college education in business, or you need to do this, or you need to do whatever the hell you want to do. Don't be scared. Be fearless. And if you're fearless with good ethics and a superior product, you will succeed. If you cut corners and you're cheap and you're rude and you're bully and you're unethical, you will fail. That's it. So if you can commit to being a good person, working harder than anybody else and believing, then you'll succeed. And that's it. It's really that simple. So we've had people that have come up to us, especially in our early years, that go, oh man, I was going to do this, or I had this idea, or I was going to and I have no doubt that they did, that's true. But they didn't do it.
Wow.
That's the fundamental difference, that they didn't do it. And we did. So let that be a lesson to anyone out there. You're not listening to a person that is, went to Harvard University for business. You're listening to a kid who barely got into college, struggled, worked his ass off the whole time, who didn't, were doing drama and waiting tables, who got a real estate license just for the hell of it, who then started this for the hell of it. So I don't have any credentials that should be that mind-blowing. But if you're like me, then you can do whatever the hell you want in life.
Yeah. Wow. That's super inspiring. Sabin, thank you so much for joining me. And to the listeners out there, make sure to check out Cousins Maine Lobster at cousinsmainelobster.com. Hey, thank you for listening to this episode of Starting Small. If you would, leave a review on whatever platform you're listening on. Also, follow Starting Small Pod on social platforms to keep up to date on future guests.